Good morning, my people. What's up? Hope and trust that all is going good. Today is what? Tuesday? Tuesday, the 17th day of March, 2026. And the time is 6:39 a.m. Tuesday, the day after the by-election in St. Philip's North. St. Philip's North, yes, that's correct. And as you see on my backdrop there, I go with it. I'm going with this one. What a man sows, that will he also reap. The word of God can never lie. I keep saying that all the time to people, close to me when I do these things. The word of God cannot lie. And I followed the count last night, and I was going to do the video last night, and I said no. And then I got up this morning and I said, Spirit came on me to do the video, Dave, because um it's important to put some things on the record, you know. By my notes, Mr. Baltimore, Randy Baltimore, and before I go, let me just say congratulations to Mr. Baltimore on his win, on his victory. By my notes, Mr. Baltimore would have gotten 924 votes. Alex Brown would have gotten 407 votes. And there were 13 rejected votes. I did not get the number for the votes, the total number of votes in the individual boxes. I'm going to try to get that today. So I'm not able to calculate at this point in time what percentage of the individual boxes was won or lost. That's very important. But from what I heard last night, the the voters list moved from let me tell you, it moved from let me see what it did. It moved from 1876 in at the general election in 2023, 1,876 electors. It moved from that to 1998. That's the information I got. 1998. So that would be a difference of 122 votes. So the list increased by 122 votes. And for purposes of this analysis, I'm going to split that 122 in two. I'm going to give each candidate 50% each. That's just for the purposes of the analysis. That might not be the case, but for the purposes of the analysis, that's what I'm going to be doing. All right. So, um, as I said earlier, Randy Baltimore would have gotten 924 votes. Alex Brown would have gotten 407. And there was 13 spoiled ballots. Which says that um of the amount that was cast, right? Oh, when I say cast, both eligible and ineligible, the 924, um, the 924, 407, and 13. I'm including the rejected for the purposes of participating in protests. You would have had 1,344 persons who would have participated in the process last night. 1,344. There might be a differentiation of one or two. I'll get the official figures later. And I say that there was a little hiccup at the end when the last box was being counted, where Alex conceded. There was a little hiccup there, and it kind of threw off the counting. So I suspect there might be a one difference there, but these are the notes that I have. So 1,344 persons would have participated in the process last night. Now that equates to 67.8% 26 blah 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 percent of the eligible electors participated in the process last night. 67%. Let me not go ahead. It's not big enough to round up. So 67%. Right? I see that ABS was doing a made their calculation on the votes from last night. No, I didn't do that. I think that is wrong. You have to work the percentage on the total number who could have participated. And that total number, as I said, would have been 1,998. I heard that figure last night on the panel. So the 1344 that participated represented 67% of the 1998. That's the total votes in the constituency. So 77, 87, 97, 33% of the electors, for whatever the reason, did not participate in the process last night. Right? So keep that in mind. Remember this, figures can't lie, but people use figures to lie. So this is what this is the picture that the figures is painted. Now of the amount that was cast last night, Randy Baltimore. No, oh no, not the amount cast last night. The amount on the overall number, the 1998. That's the total electors list. The votes that Randy Baltimore got, 924, that would have represented 46% of the overall number, and of the 407 that Alex Brown got, that would have represented 20% of the overall figure. 46.26 blah 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 for Randy Baltimore. Alex Brown would have been 20.37. Got on the line there. So not enough to round up. So 46% and 20%. So Randy Baltimore won by a margin of a little over 2-1 in the by-election last night. I did a comparison now as to what would have happened at the general election in 2023. I already said that the electoral list, the list increased by around 122. The voter turnout, or the turnout in the general elections in 2023, was 71.75%. Right? 71.75%. That's the total turnout. So if you add 46 and 20, 66. So the 66% or the 67% that turnout was a little less than what turned out or who turned out in the general elections. Because again, as I said, the general election was 71.75%, and the by-election would have been 67.26% going on the line there. Right? Now, again, my calculations are based on the total number of electors who could have participated, not who participated, the total number of the persons. You get a better picture like that. And the breakdown in the general elections was Mr. Yearwood got 37.74% of the votes. The votes cast in comparison to what the votes cast in comparison to the total number. Mr. Yearwood got 37.74%, and Alex Brown got 32.78%. And there was something there there was a Mario Thomas. He got 0.8%, and the rejected votes was 0.3%. So the difference between Robin and Alex in the general election was, call it 72 and 38, was about, no, not 72, 38 and 33. Right, if you round it up. So the difference between Robin and Alex would have been 5%. 5%, the difference between them. 32.78 rounded up. No, 37.74 rounded up. That would be 38%. And 32.78 rounded up. That would be 33%. And 35 or 33 from 35. Am I correct? 33 from 38. 33 from 38 would give you a difference of 5%. So there, in the general election, there was a difference of 5%. And in the by-election, there's a difference of 26. There's a difference of 26%. That is the 40 and the 20. 40 for Randy, 20 for Alex. The difference is 26%. So the figures tell you clearly that the U.P.P. supporters did not go to vote. They did not participate in the process. And the Labour support, basically, no, not basically. The Labour support increased. The Labour support increased by 9 or 10%. When you look at what Robin would have gotten versus what Randy Baltimore would have gotten. 37% as compared to 46%. Right? So 9% thereabout. So that increase can only come from two sources as far as I'm concerned. Remember I said earlier I had split it, the difference in the electors number, the 122, I split it 50-50. It means that either Randy Baltimore registered way more than Alex, or some persons who did not support Labour in the general election supported Labour in the by-election. The numbers are clear. You can see that there, right? But that does not make up for the 20% showing from Alex. So that tells me that the United Progressive Party supporters, for whatever the reason, did not participate in the process. Maybe they traveled and they couldn't get back to Antigua. I doubt that's the case. I'm just saying that as a joke. They did not participate. So then the next question I ask myself is, what could have caused that fall off for Alex? And I can only come up with maybe 2 or 3 scenarios. One, after the general election, Alex fell off with the people. That's one possibility. I don't get that impression based on what I've heard happening on the ground. He was busy. There was a point in time where he was sick, but basically he remained engaged. That's my understanding. That's one. The other thing that comes to mind is that the state of the party weighed on its supporters, and I tend to agree most with that. That is the state of the party. And what do I refer to when I speak of the state of the party? We know that the U.P.P. had a convention, and we know of the debacle after the convention, that is, persons did not accept the will of the convention. That it would be from then up to at least 2 months ago or thereabout, if I'm not mistaken, because I would have believed that you people would have gone to convention before the general election, so that might have been something in 2023. And just recently, when there was this argument on radio that Lovell should be the leader, that would have been about 2 months ago, so 2026. So for 3 years, a number of persons, by their action, and they can't refute it. And who backs me really care? You don't know me. You can talk truth as me see it. For 3 years, some persons did not, and maybe up to now, have not accepted the will of the convention. And I believe that played out last night in the by-election in St. Philip's North. That's my belief. Um, we know that there were four persons who were meeting and them kind of stuff and then kind of stuff after the convention. We don't have to go over that again. We know it. We the people know who they are. Of that four, um, two will remain going into the next general election. I want to say going into the next general election, I'm talking around being around at the time because that is going to, I'm going to say something in that again too. Um, Anthony Smith is now, well, he said he's independent. I think there might have been an announcement that he will be representing the Labour Party in the next general elections. And Serpent will not be contesting the next general elections. I think Dalso is going to be doing that in that constituency. So that would leave Richard Lewis down in St. the rural west, and that would leave Shugi in St. Mary's South, right? Time will tell if Richard Lewis can win that seat in the next general elections. Time will tell. I have my opinions, but time will tell. As to St. Mary's South, I believe the U.P.P will win that seat, and it has nothing to do with Shugi, in my opinion. It has nothing to do with Shugi, in my opinion. Based on the dynamics in that constituency, I believe whoever the U.P.P representative is over there will win. I go back to my backdrop. What a man sows, that will he also reap. In my opinion, Shugi could not contest the next general election, in my opinion. But I'll come back to that. So to explain why the U.P.P supporters did not go, in my opinion, goes back to that. And I did not necessarily, you all know where I stand with the convention, whether people like it, yes or no. Whether people like it, yes or no, that's the will of the people. You go with it. And if you can't live with it, leave. Well, because people did not leave, and I know because I have recordings of certain advice that was given to the leadership of the party, stemming out of that, those advice was not accepted. This is why you get the trashing. That is the U.P.P, in my opinion, got the trashing that they got last night. What a man sows, that will he also reap. God word can't lie. No, where I see the U.P.P, again, as I keep saying, anything can happen. I'm not God. I can't see how the U.P.P can win the next general election. I can't see it. But I'm not God. God decides this thing, right? I had a meeting yesterday, and I had to say some uncomfortable things. And I said to the person sharing the meeting, I understand that these things are uncomfortable, but they're the truth. And if what I'm saying is a lie, tell me. Tell me. And people might not want to say it, but the truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. And what you sow, you can't reap nothing but what you sow. That's just how it is. I was elected president of a sports club. And if you know me, I like to see things done properly. So set about doing things, getting some things properly. I remember one executive member asked me, when do you compromise? And I remember saying to the executive member, I only compromise when I'm wrong. I don't compromise when I'm right. I remember saying that to him. And that person became the ringleader to get rid of me. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. Because I keep telling you, I keep saying again, I believe in God. and God takes care of his people. So I was more worried about that. There was a lot of sniping, So like what was happening in U.P.P. There was a lot of sniping. And one day an elder of mine heard a telephone conversation going on. I was explaining something to somebody. And when I came off the call, the elder said, Dave, met the people in some loan. Met alone. You know, see they don't want nothing good, met alone. I would say, for real, elder? And he said, yeah. He said, met alone in the some. They don't want nothing good. And when the elder said that to me, I came right inside and printed my resignation letter and sent it to them. I would have been in the position for maybe about 2 weeks, 12 days, between 12 and 40 days, somewhere between there. So it was a laugh around the fraternity. I know people in the same club was going, oh, yeah, be for the shortest president and this and that and everybody that and everybody that. And I said nothing. A year after my resignation, 1 year after my resignation, the same things that I was putting in place to have the club run good is the same thing they're doing now, 1 year after. And I had the pleasure of one of the persons who I know was ridiculing me behind my back come right over at the stand, and people were there with me and said, Beef, why am I gonna say right? Because that person now had to face the music. And I said to the person, Kingman, just leave it right there. Be good. You understand? The very question that I was asking of the association that run the fraternity that we're part of, the very same question came up 1 year after, where an idiot was telling them that you can produce a financial and not use no receipt, not have no receipts. You can imagine that? And them a cuss them up and down now, and I say, I have nothing to say. Nothing. And to show you how it's a microcosm of what happened in the country, one person who is a manager, I didn't say player, a manager of a club said, look, me not reading a report. And when I read the report, yes or no, me want something for those Sunday time. So she not care about accountability. She don't care about that. She just wants something for go Sunday time. That's the state of the country. And I say that because I'm going to give Giselle especially. I'm going to give Giselle especially. And maybe Pringle might want to take it. Leave U.P.P thing alone. Let's see what happened. One election cycle after. Because me think I've been around this thing long enough. He now gonna way with them. He now gonna way with them. In addition to congratulating what's my name? Baltimore. I want to congratulate those who did not accept the will of the U.P.P convention, because Baltimore win goes to them too now. Yeah, man, and the Labour Party will only go to. Baltimore will goes to them. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I want to say congratulations to my friend Day Knight. Yes, man. This win and all for Baltimore go to you. I'm looking for boy, I can't get a clip, and I hope I can get it. So one day I was listening to a program with a guy Spliff Philip Bacalaga, and I heard he called Knight, and he said to Knight, and I'm just paraphrasing. He said to Knight, You worse than them people in the Labour Party that switch and gone over. Them people that left U.P.P. switch gone over to the Labour Party and now bang U.P.P. You worse than them. And he said the reason why I must say that is that at least them they get paid for what them do to the U.P.P. And on boards or whatever them get paid. You'll do it for free. And I agreed with him. So Randy Baltimore victory, in my opinion, goes to Knight also, goes to these people also. You don't let me live by myself who backs me the cake. But me can talk truth as me see it. Of course. I said that tonight already. And he said, no, 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 put up an emoji. No, 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 no. But I'm not going to be a hypocrite and not say it. And Knight is still my boy. And I don't have a problem that if that is Knight's position, that's Knight's position. The position you've taken is his position. But you see, what you sow, you reap. So you can't get it from it now. These are all the people who should take credit for Baltimore's win. Because Giselle said some time ago, and I didn't put it up, I'm talking, it come to my head. Giselle said some time ago, when the U.P.P. made the gains that it made, I think they got 6 or 7 seats, it was because of the energy, the collaboration in the party. The same thing happened last night when Baltimore win, and because of the lack of energy or what's happening in the party, in my opinion, contributed greatly to what happened. That's just my opinion, and I have the right to that. So that's just my advice to Giselle. Let us some loan. They can do better, no problem. Do better. Let's see. I say, I know what happened with me in my situation. I mean, look, me laugh every day. Me laugh every day as to what I see with my situation. Because I knew it, I could have said it. But you see, the majority of people around here who talk, they talk plenty, They talk plenty. Let them do. Let them go and do it. Let them go and do it. They can't do it, but they talk plenty. What a man sow, that will he also reap. So that is what I have to say in relation to what happened last night at the by-election. It can't be that Alex Nicholas, the individual, got so unpopular. Can't be. I've not heard that. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody out there. It has to be the state of the party. And those people who brought the party to where it is. Hey, clap yourself, man. Clap yourself on the back. Slap yourself on the back. You did good. Your efforts weren't in vain. Your efforts aided Randy Baltimore greatly in securing his victory. You all do good. Feel free. Feel good, man. Big up yourself. Smile. Feel good. If Pringle decides that he's continuing in politics, whether U.P.P. win or not, I suspect that he will win his seat. I suspect that. He will win his seat. I haven't called Pringle name. I hear Pringle talk some stupidness when the thing came up with Shuggy the other day and Joan. Well, that's Pringle's opinion. But I know in a party that I'm running, may look on candidate for St. Mary's South. Because the care whom I get, they stand a very, very good chance of winning. And I'm saying, when the seeds were being sowed to come back to what happened last night, Shuggy was a part of it. And I can say that because the record said that. We know the 4 who was meeting. We know the 4 who met. What meeting you have If the convention don't decide, run and decide. But I'm not going to go over that. I'm not going to go over that. I'm going to leave that. But for me, that he couldn't run on my ticket. All who afraid for should have fired the business. That's what beef say. Anyway, congratulations again, Mr. Baltimore, and congratulations to your team. Not only your Labour Party team, but congratulations to your U.P.P team, who assisted you greatly in making it into the House or into the Parliament of our good state, Antigua and Barbuda. Have a good day, my people. Bless up.